Okay, great. We're starting up again. Okay. Hi, everyone. Reset. It's Natalia Marin, your host of Does It Work, and welcome to our third episode where I, your host, will evaluate if cultural phenomenons, government systems, psychological theories, so much more actually work. In future episodes, we'll look at things like the red nail theory, electoral college manifesting, and so much more. But today, our episode surrounds reality dating shows. And before I dive right in, let me just introduce, I have a guest. Yay! Let me turn on her mic because I completely forgot. Okay, there she is.
Yay!
There, we can hear her now. Okay, and let me introduce her, my lovely roommate, my lovely ASU bestie, Miss Kaylee Woods, also a self-proclaimed expert. I self-proclaimed her. She did not self-proclaim herself. Expert of reality TV. Let's see. Why can't people hear me? Okay. Yeah, so that's amazing, and we'll get into all of that type of stuff, and I'm so excited to start the episode. We're going to take a quick little break and listen to some music while we figure out some audio issues that we're having, apparently. But yeah, so here is Hey Jude by the Beatles, while we're figuring out all of our issues. That was Hey Jude by the Beatles, and I think we're solved with our audio issues.
I think so too.
Yes, okay, so that lovely voice, if you're tuning in right now, is Miss Kaylee Woods. And she'll act as our personal experience expert, as what I'm calling them, for our show. And our future shows will also have future guests, but I thought it'd be fun to do a little show about dating shows with my host, my co-host.
And my only qualifications are consuming an unhealthy amount of reality dating shows. So let that be known.
Exactly. Okay, so let's just dive right into it. Why not? Okay, so dating shows. Let me do a quick little definition. Kaylee is a listener to the show. She knows how this works.
I am.
Yeah, one of my best. Okay, so dating shows are game shows that incorporate a variety of matchmaking systems and services in the form of a game with clear rules. So human matchmaking is involved only in selecting the game's contestants, which that sometimes happens, that sometimes doesn't, who are usually selected for more amusement value than any other concern of happiness and compatibility. This is what the Wikipedia said.
That's a crazy definition.
I was like, this is okay. Oh, also, you might say, why are you listening to Wikipedia? That's a really good question. I was trying to do research for this show, guys. So there's not a lot of scientific journals on reality shows.
Which is unfortunate.
No, that's so shocking to me.
Opportunity.
It really is. So a lot of these come from personal people collecting data on it, and just the general sites if you were just looked up a random Google search. So it's not as in depth. But if you want to hear a history about dating, so I thought this was really interesting. So, the original dating game show was introduced by Chuck Barris, and it was called The Dating Game, which saw a bachelor and bachelorette asking questions to three singles seen only by the audience. I feel like that's very common.
Yeah, I feel like that's the main setup.
Yes, so it's from the original from 1965, and then another Barris show was The Newlywed Game. So it's where recently married couples had to compete to answer questions about each other. And so if they didn't get it right, okay. I just thought that was so funny. Okay, so if we're going in, that was a little history on dating shows and stuff. We're going in to talk about 3 reality TV shows. Love Island, UK version mostly, if you're a Love Island fan. That's the more popular one. And then, yeah. And then also we'll talk about US a little bit. But then Married at First Sight, which is a crazy show. It's exactly what the title sounds like. And The Bachelor and Bachelorette, which I feel like are the most known. In America, at least. In America, at least, I feel like those are the most known. So, let's dive into some facts here. The facts I could find. So Love Island, Peacock's original Love Island USA, is the #1 reality series in the USA across all streaming platforms. Isn't that crazy?
With the latest season, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the latest season was wild, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, also, let's do a little history. Kaylee and I loved Love Island so much that when we met our freshman year, we exclusively watched
We
Love
consumed
Island.
so much Love Island. Island, like, hours
It was
a
so
day.
bad. And we'd, like, wake up, and, like, even if we wake up at 7 a.m., Love Island's on.
Love Island was on. I don't even think we finished the season.
No, we didn't.
We really tried.
It was pretty obsession. And then we started watching Married at First Sight.
Yes.
With, I think it was mostly with Alex, our other friend Alex.
But it was a season we had already watched.
We
were rewatching the season.
Yeah, my family out there, very obsessed with reality shows, and Kaylee's also obsessed, so we're on the same level with that one. But yeah, okay, Love Island. So there's two versions, US, UK. UK came first.
Yes.
Yeah, US is a little bit more new because it was kind of like during COVID, a lot of people started watching these shows, and it hit its peak with 5.6 million viewers during Season 5 on Love Island UK. But then viewers started dropping down in follower season.
Oh.
Which I'm like, I feel like the Season 5, do you remember that season? It's with Molly May.
Yes, of course.
Season 5 is the most crazy season. If I would recommend you to watch any season of TV, it would be Season 5 Love Island UK.
You literally, like, you gotta start there and then just go.
Yes, literally, honestly. Okay, so these are stats collected on June 5th, 2023 from this website. Obviously, all the links will be on my YouTube channel, so if you want to go watch that, you can find the links of where I found all this stuff on. And it was, so as of right now, it's at Love Island UK. 295 people have been on Love Island. I know. I think that's kind of like, okay.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. 194 of them never found a match.
That's crazy.
Guys, it's also like, please don't like think that we're being rude. You need to watch this show if you're like, this is it's a reality TV show.
I'm not being rude. I love this show.
I love this show as well. Okay, and then there was 71 separated couples.
Oh.
So people that got together and then didn't. Yeah. Okay, and then 30 who are still together, which is like a sliding slope, allegedly. I found other sources that say that only 10 couples are now together, but that sounds more reasonable. Yeah. And they also said that this person was like really intensely about Love Island UK, so maybe the polls were a little skewed. Or maybe back then they were. But 10 couples right now, and 9 because Molly May, who's a very iconic Love Island character, is no longer with Tommy. So now only 9. That was from Season 5, everyone. Okay. So do you want to give a little bit of a history of how, like, Love Island works? Like, just, like, a 20-second, like, if you were talking to someone new, what would you say that how Love Island works? Because I feel like we haven't gone into it at all, and maybe my older viewers don't really know.
Okay.
While you do that, I'm fixing your camera.
Okay. I believe they have about 5 or 6 single women and then 5 or 6 single men that start at the beginning, and they both get thrown into this Fiji island. And it's a secluded little house where they have to, first time meeting each other, couple up with whoever they think is the most attractive. And then we go throughout the season, we see couples stay together, we see couples break up, we see new singles entering the villa and taking the chance to steal people out of their couples. So, and the winner is whoever was voted by America to be the most strong couple, I would say, but a lot of times it's popularity. And so, yeah, that is my little quick version. Tons of stuff happens, tons of drama. There's challenges every episode, which seem to amount to truly nothing. Other than
the challenges are really not that much. Yeah. I fixed Kayla's camera. We're all good. It was cutting off the top of her head, and we're both matching outfits right now, so it has to be seen. So you're seeing more of Kayla's outfit now. And was it necessary? Yes, because I wanted you to see her outfit.
It was.
So, okay, that was a great recap. Thank you, Kayla.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the thing that we were talking about before the show. Most couples get married or engaged from earlier seasons before ratings hit their peak. And this is something that we will see when we're evaluating all of them. They're all the same. Mm-hmm. It's from earlier seasons where the ratings weren't as much, that like the kind of core of the show was still maintained, I guess. Yeah, like that most of them get before their ratings hit, they're engaged from earlier seasons. And that's in all 3 of the things that we're going to look at today, which I thought was interesting. And most couples become separated between a year of living outside of the villa. So, like, that's what everyone, between a year of living, and then most of them are, like, in the first 3 months. Like, it's really, it's kind of instant that people, because let's talk about it. The villa is kind of like, it's not real. Like, it's not real life.
Yeah. No,
So, like, you're functioning in the villa, but, like, you're playing games, living in, like, an island. It's called Love Island.
No social media. No way of even accessing the time.
No.
I don't even
No,
they
can't access it. They can't know the time. They can't talk to anyone. One girl talked about how she was communicating with her mom via Netflix. Like, she had her Netflix account, and she was talking to her mom via changing the account names,
the profile names.
It's like zero contact with anyone. It's really interesting. Okay, so then I got some Islanders, as they're called, and what their perspective on it. And Jess, she was from 2024, and she was a star, Jess White. Do you know who Jess White is? No. The thing about the show is you watch different types of seasons. So, Jess White, she said, you see 45 minutes of a 24-hour day. It's the edited version of reality.
Yeah.
Which is also just saying, like, that reality it's not what you see. Mm-hmm. But, like, everyone knows that. Reality TV, even though it's reality,
There's still characters. The producers decide what characters they want to push forward.
Exactly.
What plots they want to push forward.
Yeah. And then, like, people become villains. And then people become... Yeah. I mean, it's entertainment. It's an entertainment value. It's not reality. And then Molly May, who's, like we said, very, very famous from Love Island, said that sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do for the storyline. So it's not scripted. None of these shows are scripted. And, like, Islanders have come out and, like, producers... It's not a scripted show.
Yeah.
But... if they want to, like, say that, like, Kaylee's in the villa right now. Kaylee's in the villa, and Kaylee's the villain.
What?
And we need to feed into the fact that Kaylee is the villain of the villa.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say some stuff that makes her the villain of the villa.
Exactly.
Because there needs to be a villain. You need to root for people, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what Love Island is. Overall, not very successful show. But that's the overview of Love Island. Let's go to The Bachelor. So in 2022... because I know it's changed. It always changes. But in 2022, out of only 2/3 of the seasons ended with proposals of The Bachelor and Bachelorette.
And that's kind of like the whole point.
And that's the whole point. Yeah, The Bachelor is that you meet, 20-something? 20-something single people meet one Bachelorette, which is a girl, and then Bachelor, which is a guy, and it's 20 women or 20 men, depending on that. Competing for their love. Yeah. That's the simple reason. If you want to look up more of these, you can just look up online. They're all very famous. So 2/3 of the seasons end with proposals. The end is supposed to be a proposal. Mm-hmm. Like, they're supposed to get engaged at the end. And then out of those proposals, only 5 have led to marriage.
5?
Yeah. This is also, remember, these are facts that it's not exact. Yeah. But, like, around 5 have led to marriage. And The Bachelor The Bachelorette has a 30% success rate versus The Bachelor only has an 11% success rate, which I thought was interesting.
That's interesting.
Which is like, I don't know why that's different. Yeah. Maybe it's like men versus women making decisions.
Yeah.
Which is a possibility. Hold on, my camera died. Guys, we're fixing a lot of technical difficulties today. And so, yeah. So then I wanted to talk about the bad version of reality TV. Oh. So I think we both discussed in depth the season finale of The Bachelorette. The most recent season finale of The Bachelorette. It was awful,
terrible.
Everyone. It was, like, grueling to watch.
Yes.
And I'm not a Bachelorette watcher. Are you a Bachelorette watcher?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I'm not.
But we're pop culture people, so we know. It was bad. Jen's her name. Jen was a bachelor. She was the first Asian American bachelorette. Yes. And it ended chaotically and just awful. And it was like, there was a phone call, so her marriage or engagement ended with a phone call from her fiance. So I was like engager. No, and fiance. And it was bad, and they had to replay the footage. Jen was sobbing.
This was on live television, or at least television.
It was like live television.
And she was sitting directly next to her now ex-fiance while they rewatched footage of her proposing to him, in which we later find out that he ended their engagement via phone.
Yeah.
Via phone call.
It's awful, guys.
She was sobbing.
It was awful. And it's also just like, guys, like, even though this is reality TV and it's not technically TV, like, it's still people. Yeah, like, they're real people. And they have emotions. And a lot of people like that, I wanted to point that out because that caused a lot of outrage of people saying that she was treated very unfairly and that, like, even though it is reality TV and everyone knows that not everything is real, like, you still need to treat people with dignity. Exactly. Like, people need to have respect, which was obviously not really given to Jen in that situation. And so it was kind of awful, honestly, and we feel very bad for Jen. But now she's on Dancing with the Stars, which is our other very favorite reality TV. Plug Dancing with the Stars. Yes. I think it's good. I think it has enough viewers. But then I found this really interesting fact about all of the shows. So the longer someone stays on a show, the higher their Instagram followers become. So that's another part. We're going into the influencer aspect of reality TV shows. Influencers are very, very common nowadays. They're very common. And so a lot of people now are going on reality TV shows to get famous.
Yes, and especially because the first couple of seasons, I mean, you don't know if the show is going to take off. You don't know the impact the show is going to have. It could just be like a background show that nobody really watches. But then once you see that the show is getting popular, then that's when you realize you can monetize off of even just being on it. Yeah.
And so then there's people that become like reality show stars and like are just on varying reality TV shows, which is interesting. An interesting way. I mean, if you're making money, make money.
Yeah.
So no hate from your girl over here. Yeah. But, so that's another part where it's what it seems, and the conclusion that I've made is the farther we come from, like, the reality or, like, the original purpose of what this show is to be, which is all of the shows are to find love, and most of them are to be married. Yeah. Like, that's the purpose of it. The farther we get in the seasons and the more popular they become, the farther they become from their purpose.
Exactly.
And I want to talk about Married at First Sight, which in my going into research with this, I would say this is probably the most successful. That was in my head. Because, so I'll do a little bit background. So it includes specialists, including a spiritualist, which I think he's like a pastor.
I believe so.
And then a relationship coach and a sociologist using scientific matchmaking methods to determine each couple who will not have met or had contact with each other until their wedding day. Guys, it's crazy. It's a crazy thing. And the show is insane that they literally married at first sight. Yeah. They see each other, they meet, they're married. And so out of the 17 seasons, 64 couples have been matched. Only out of those couples, only 12 are still together. There's a little asterisk there. We don't, again, please.
We don't know their personal lives.
We don't know if they're, like, successfully together, but we think that they are together. Also, remember, all of these are not coming from, like, scientific journals, like how we usually do it. These are just, like, facts and what I can come up.
People who are snooping, you know?
People who are just as interested as we are, exactly. I guess. So what do you think? So that's the thing that made me surprised. Like, this is matchmaking, and it's no more successful than Love Island. Yeah. Like, it's really not. So even if we put in science in very hard quotation marks there, we don't know. It's that one's just, I thought it would include it because it has science backing it.
It has matchmakers who are trying to get this to work.
But no, I guess no. So who do you think, or what show do you think is the most successful show?
Oh, that's so
hard. Out of, like, all of the shows.
Oh, well, I would say I don't think it's Love Island.
Okay.
Or, I guess my thought would have to be, like, I would think Married at First Sight.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's 100%
what I was get married afterwards.
Mm-hmm. So they cause divorce. So, like, that's a bigger thing. Yeah, like getting divorced versus breaking up is a bigger thing.
It's a lot harder to literally have to get a divorce, especially because you start off the show with a legal license, like getting married. Yeah. And so you would think that they have more of a pressure to stay together. Okay, so there's an asterisk. We didn't talk about it. The show. And I just wanted to say, to my dad who's listening to this, I love you, and you are right. The most successful show is 90 Day Fiancé. Oh. Because, and we'll go to the scientific reasons of why relationships work. 90 Day Fiancé is, I don't know how to, like, it's real-life couples, and they're an American engaged to someone that lives in another country, yes. Okay? And it follows, like, the K-1 visa process. But these people, some of them have been together for 5 years, 10 years, exactly.
20 years. They've known each other forever. And this is going in from a relationship coach that I looked up, Julie Spira, I think is how you say it, is when your relationship is brand new, you haven't gone through the bumps on the road together, traveled together, gone through a traumatic event. That's what leads to a successful relationship, obviously. And let's talk about, according to the American Psychological Association, 40 to 50% of first marriages end in divorce. So that's what we're going with. If the goal of the show is to say we're getting married, all of these are way less than 50%.
Yes.
So no, they're not working.
Yeah.
They're not like a speed fire way. Like, has it worked for some people? Yeah, it does. Like the first bachelorette couple ever, it worked.
Yeah.
They're still together.
Together.
Which is like, I think that's kind of wild. Awesome for them, yeah. Live, laugh, love it up. But yeah, even like the American Psychological Association, 40 to 50% of marriages, regular marriages, end in divorce. So this show is not speed running anything.
No.
It's honestly, it's has a lower success rate than the regular way. So if we're going to, my opinion, when the goal is marriage and staying together, of what they originally were intended for, not to get people famous, no, they don't work. That's my opinion. I don't think they work.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that,
Yeah.
especially because, you don't really get to know each other in a private place. You're getting to know each other knowing that the producers can make any spin that they want, knowing that tons of people are watching from home.
Yeah.
And so how do you know it's really truthful?
No, you don't.
You don't.
You don't.
Until you get out of the show, and then that's when success rates
yep.
decline.
And that's when people start to break up.
That's when people...
So,
yeah.
Our opinion is no. It does not work.
No.
It does not work, guys. I don't think anyone went into this episode thinking it worked, but just so you guys know. So we're on to the final segment of the episode. So it's called Works For Me. It's my unresearched, unscientific opinion of a thing that's been working for me recently. And my thing is making like a huge dinner and having it I know this is not revolutionary. Please don't come for me. I know this is not revolutionary. But having a huge dinner and just having it throughout the week, it makes life easier, especially as a college student. It's beautiful. Kaylee, what is yours?
I am so excited to share this one. So whenever I'm studying, or writing essays, I've started listening to the Nutcracker soundtrack. And this sounds crazy, but I need to listen to background music. I can't listen to something I want to sing along to. And so I've started listening to the Nutcracker soundtrack. It gets me in the mood. But my fear is that I'm going to show up to the Nutcracker ballet and subconsciously feel the essay and study stress without knowing it. But we don't know yet. It's almost Christmas time, so we'll see.
We'll find out, I guess.
We'll find out.
Kaylee told me this before the show, and I almost started crying of how much I was like.
I used this technique last night when writing.
She did, yeah. We stayed up pretty late writing stuff last night, and she wrote it, she wrote it, and it's good, guys.
Exactly,
it's good.
Exactly.
Okay, so thank you so much for listening. Remember to follow me on at Natalia Marin _ on Instagram, and the show at Does It Work Show. These episodes will be on YouTube later, and with all the different camera angles and audio issues, they will be there. You'll hear them. I will provide all the links to what I use in the description of the YouTube. Thank you so much, and Kaylee, where can we follow you?
You can follow me at Kaylee Woods 05 on Instagram. Feel free to follow, and I will probably follow back.
Follow for a follow, honestly. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Kaylee, for coming on. First ever guest.
I'm so happy. It was so much fun.
Okay. I'm glad. So thank you so much. I'll see you all next time, and goodbye for now. I hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.